Have you ever seen something from the corner of your eye that wasn't there when you looked again?
No.
Oh, you bastard.
I've heard you do it a few times to me.
How about...
During recording,
Fucking hell.
I've heard you mute that mic and and say things from your side. I've heard it.
I didn't even mute it. How about... Hello everyone, welcome to another episode. I hope we cut stuff out of the intro because that was a mess. I hope you're all feeling great today. Jack, I hope you're not feeling great today. How are you?
I am feeling wonderful. I've just been hilarious, so I am very funny. And I'm feeling great. How about you?
Well, I am feeling like I just kind of forced myself into leaving that in the edit, but yeah, other than that, it's going great.
It's wonderful when you, full on, like, crowbar yourself into a position there.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been my greatest enemy, so why should it be different today?
Yeah, why?
Anyway, I picked out something a little bit lighter for today. You know, I had stuff on the list with flying organs and gore and stuff, or, drowning children and whatnot. But I thought in the pre-Christmas season, I thought we'd go a little bit lighter today.
Oh yeah, that thing is coming up.
Yes, it is coming up. Hope we're not encountering Krampus again, but we'll see about that.
Yeah, I mean, that was certainly a Christmas.
Oh, yes, it was.
Yeah.
I still can't decide if it was more or less wired than the one we spent at the North Pole, but...
yeah, well...
We have to do an episode about that at some point, maybe. Yeah. Maybe on Christmas, who knows?
Maybe on Christmas. But, I mean, nothing can ever... It's a different type of... It's definitely a different type of something went really, really wrong kind of Christmas compared to the North Pole.
Yes, very different.
Because, again, during the North Pole, I was trying to work out what was going on and deal with Santa. You were creating an elf union. There's just differences.
Yeah. I'm a friend of the working class. What can I say?
All right. Well, how about today, though? What are we up to today, then?
We are up to the Púca today, which you may or may not have heard about. It's from, well, not quite your home, but if you consider the entire British island group, then it kind of counts. We are, of course, again in Celtic territory, Ireland, around that kind of spot.
Oh, yeah. Well, I will say this is definitely a creature I've not heard of. And frankly, when you said the name for a second there, I was about to directly to your bathroom.
Well, I am speechless. I'm just gonna move swiftly on from that and tell you that a puca is a very old and traditional and very important creature in Celtic mythology, and you should not joke about it because it'll make me sad. Also,
that's the reason.
Yes.
All right. Well, tell me all about the puca.
The puca is the name is, as far as I understand it, an Irish word for spirit or ghost.
Okay.
So it's very, very vague in that aspect. And by the way, the plural of that is pucae, which would not stop me from saying pucas in this episode probably, but we'll see what happens.
All right.
And we know that the name has been in use since at least the 8th century, from place names and stuff like that. The interesting part is that it probably didn't originate in the Irish language, actually, or at least not with that spelling, because in primitive Irish there was apparently no P sound, so
there must
have been some cross-pollination going on there. And that also reflects in, especially in the northwestern European region, like Scandinavia and stuff like that. There's a lot of similarly named creatures, and which may or may not be the same creature actually that migrated somewhere else. We have the Púki in Iceland. We have the Puca devil in what is it, Sweden, I think. There's all kinds of creatures which kind of share a name and are probably the same thing over there.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, what is it? It is our most favorite type of creature. It is a shapeshifter.
Oh, god damn it.
And it makes full and complete use of its ability at every turn. The only thing they kind of have in common is that whatever they turn into tends to have black fur.
Okay.
Like there's exceptions. In very rare cases, it's also like a white or very light gray, but usually it's very black.
Okay, so dark fur. Occasionally, they will turn in something a bit like white or grayish, but it's a rare occasion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of an albino situation, I guess.
I'm just trying to go through my head and think of like any time I've seen like something that looks oddly kind of like black fur, if that makes sense. You know, something that's a bit out of place and kind of black fur. But currently I can't think of anything myself whenever I've been over in kind of like Ireland. But yeah, tell me a little bit more. Go on.
So most commonly when people encounter them, they're found as black horses. So you'd probably like them.
Oh, okay. So there's a chance of even ridden some.
Maybe. Have they thrown you off by any chance?
I mean, I've been thrown off many times by horses I've been riding long enough, and definitely by some black horses, yes.
But did they giggle about it?
I mean, I'd like to think that some of them I definitely heard giggling.
Yeah, that's very possible. I mean, also if you have maybe noticed some like glowing eyes in some of these horses, that might have been an indicator.
Yeah, I mean, mostly from a horse that I knew named Bambi, but that's a completely different situation.
Okay. I'm not gonna question that.
It wasn't a black horse. It was just the devil.
What?
But anyway, carry on. The Púca.
Wait. Maybe I will question that. What are you talking about?
When I was younger, before I was a CCI agent, I was obviously having riding lessons and things, and where I rode, there was definitely a horse named Bambi, who was the spawn of the devil.
You say that as if that makes it any clearer.
He had a penchant for chasing people down and trying to bite them, trying to kick them, to the point where whenever I went into the field where he was in, I would have to reach my horse much, much faster. Because my horse scared him. Otherwise, he would quite happily try and come and bite me.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds kind of Púca-ish to me, but who knows?
Yeah, well, he was basically a ginger chestnut horse. So that might be even a rarer version of a Púca, but carry on.
Yes, where was I even? Yes, black horses, they can turn into basically whatever they want, we think. They've been confirmed as goats, cats, dogs, rabbits, basically anything that is kind of fluffy, and probably a lot of things that aren't, but we haven't caught them yet.
Okay.
They also sometimes pick a human-ish form, but they retain some animal features and like a tail or furry ears or something like that. I'm not sure if they do it on purpose or if it's just something they can control, but seeing how much control they have over their other forms, I have to believe that they choose to look like this.
Okay.
I can only imagine they would fit in very well with the furry community.
Please don't give them ideas. I don't know how intelligent these creatures are.
Oh, they are pretty intelligent.
But also, don't give furries ideas.
I'm pretty sure it's too late for all of that. You know, if there is any bad idea to be had, I can guarantee you that a Púca has had it.
Okay, I'm kind of curious. Why would you say that a Púca has had a bad idea? I'm really, really curious about this creature now. And I'm more curious as to why I haven't knowingly come across one.
But traditionally, they are seen as bringers or harbingers of good and bad fortune.
How neutral?
Yeah. And also, it's not really down to any kind of predictive abilities or anything like that. It's pretty much more a statement of intent, really, because they are there to either mess your day up or be helpful, and you never know what you get.
So it's not that they actually like augur these good or bad times. It's that they arrive and they go, I'm gonna do my thing.
I am the good or bad time.
all right. I like these creatures more and more.
I mean, basically, if you pick an internet troll and put him in real life, that's basically what you get. And
proto trolls.
yeah, we are pretty sure that they also are pretty active on social media, but that's another topic, maybe.
So they're actually quite intelligent.
They are, and they are very, very in love with just being mischievous. Like they won't kill anyone, but they will annoy the hell out of you.
Okay.
And they just use any opportunity to just be to play pranks and stuff like that.
Nice.
Except sometimes, probably just to keep us on our toes, they choose to be helpful. Like there's stories of them helping on a farm and stuff. But
is it kind of like the whole bargain thing that you do something for them, they will help you out, or is it just they decide off their own backs to do it?
Not explicitly, I don't think. It's there's a famous story about a boy who gave a code to one of them, and then in turn the puca helped out taking care of the animals on the farm.
All right.
But it wasn't like an explicit bargain or anything, and you're not guaranteed to get in any help from them just because you're being friendly. So it's more it's more of a coin toss, really.
Okay then, so they're intelligent enough to just have their own mind, and they appear to be pretty much creatures of leisure in a way. They just do what they want to, when they want to, and however they want to.
Yes, that pretty much sums it up. That's the episode today. Thanks for listening.
All I can say is I would like to be a puca.
Yeah, it's alive, isn't it?
Yeah. It would be quite a nice life.
They're not even trying to keep it secret. They are pretty much always gonna tell you. First thing, they're gonna talk to you. So if any of your horses didn't say a word to you, then it probably wasn't one of them. But they're pretty much gonna invite you. Like, if there's a horse, they might invite you to take a ride on their back. And then when you get on them, they're gonna do the Looney Tunes thing of giving you an incredible ride along the fields that'll scare you to death and then throw you in the mud somewhere at the end and leave you exactly where you left off, so you haven't gained anything. And that is pretty much their idea of a fun night out in a village.
I mean, I do like a challenge.
I mean, feel free. I cannot recommend.
All right. Well, okay then. So they don't really hide themselves, is what you're saying?
Yeah, they don't really hide themselves. They don't tend to show up in like big cities or anything, but maybe they're just being a little more secretive there. We're not sure. They seem to kind of stick to the more rural areas. We have heard or read in the history that they're supposedly maybe weak to iron, but for once, it's again one of these things where there are stories of people putting on iron spurs on their boots and then controlling them when they ride them. And it's the question, like, is it the iron or is it poking them in the sides with sharp things?
Yeah, it's the age-old Fey question. Is it the iron or is it the result of the iron?
Exactly. And it's the same thing here. And every now and then we actually kind of talk to them and they participate, quote unquote, in interviews and experiments we might want to do but it's mostly just to troll us most of the time. Like they want to find out if they have an aversion to iron, basically. So they place various things in front of them, and suddenly with the iron thing, one of the pukas we had there started screaming like, "Oh, take that away from me! Take that away from me!" But from then on, he did that for everything they put in front of him. Until at some point he couldn't control his laughter anymore. So basically we know nothing more than we did before. And that's pretty much the result of every time we have talked to them in any way about anything.
So you wouldn't really quite class them as cooperative?
Not really, no.
No. Would you class them as, like, peaceful, though?
I guess.
More just a case of do they actively try and, harm us? Do they actively just cause damage or distress to people, or is it literally just they really like playing pranks on us?
There are older records that talk about them being violent and dangerous and, jumping out on travelers and stuff like that, but that's not really the behavior that we are witnessing today. So,
you think that might be more of the folk tale?
Yeah, maybe folk tales, or maybe they were mixed up with other creatures in the area, or...
Yeah, that's possible.
Another theory is that some of the research guys subscribe to is that maybe the kind of violent behavior more or less evolved away over time because, as humans got more technologically advanced and better armed and stuff, and society changed, so communication would be better and everything. A violent puka would probably be something that people deal with, so maybe that was a reason for them to turn it down a notch.
There's a difference between a person armed with a jagged rock that they're throwing at you and someone armed with a semi-assault rifle. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
The outcome is wildly different.
Exactly, that's it. As I said, today it's basically just them being annoying, which is also why we don't really have to intervene most of the time. There's very, very rare cases where we really have to do anything or want to do anything, because as you keep reminding us, we do have a budget, and we do have a limited amount of people, and most of the time there's just more pressing matters to attend to, and places where the money would be better spent.
Fair enough.
And the time, more than everything.
Well, I am kind of curious as to how you have come across them now, if I'm perfectly honest.
Well, the first time, probably without me knowing it, because we have found out that they are also quite active on the internet. Like, they have Reddit accounts, they have, they are on 4chan and everything.
You weren't making a joke earlier when you said that.
No, that's...
Damn!
That's actually... they really go all out on, being jerks to people, and, they adopt the technology they have, and
all right.
There's a research project. I've talked to some of the guys, and they don't really get funding for that because people have deemed it's not important to know, but they have the hypothesis that the pukai are single-handedly responsible that the Rickroll is still around today. They have some evidence, but they need money to confirm it, and
Oh my god.
They also say that the pukai are probably the creators of the game, of the "you just lost the game" thing.
Yep, I just lost the game.
Yep, you did, and so did everyone who listens to this episode. You're welcome.
We have achieved our goal. That was it. Podcast done. Goodbye.
Yes.
There will be no more episodes.
Our master plan, finally.
Carry on with the episode.
Where was I? The game.
Lost the game.
It's not really quite clear who made it up, and we are reasonably sure that the pukai might at least have been involved in some part.
This sounds a lot like CCI conspiracy theories, if I'm perfectly honest, but I could believe it.
Who knows? Who knows, really?
I could honestly believe it, if I'm perfectly honest.
I mean, having met some of these, I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, talking about having met them, was a while ago where we had an influx of new recruits, and we did one of these. Sometimes there's team building trips for new wardens, and there's seniors around to basically keep them on a leash and show them a few things, and like a school trip, but with older people.
Yeah, an experience team building exercise.
Yeah, and we did that whole thing in Ireland, somewhere in the middle of nowhere, more or less. So we would camp out there and grill food on the fire and maybe show them a couple of harmless creatures here and there, and
grill the harmless creatures.
Yeah, there's lots of weird things going on in Ireland, so it's a good place to just get a general idea of how much is really going on if you are in the know. So that's why we went there with the new guys.
Okay, I've heard of these retreats, but they've never invited me on them. Don't know why.
Yeah, no one really wants to do it. It's kind of like a babysitting job that nobody wants to do, and I might have been sent there for reasons that I shall not discuss. But anyway, I was there with Warden Hanzo, and we had a good enough time, but throughout the week, more and more incidents started to occur. It would start harmless, like we'd be having a barbecue in the evening, and there be a stray dog that comes along and steals somebody's food, and everyone laughs. And then another time, a goat would come up and ram one of the new guys in the shins, and everyone laughs. And then suddenly there's a cat that does the cat thing, like presents its belly, and then when you go to pet it,
it's a trap.
Yeah, it's a trap, and everyone laughs a little less because we start to notice that all these animals had black fur, and at least Hanzo and I were beginning to suspect that this was not quite coincidental, and there was more stuff. There was a black horse that took one of the guys for a ride and then threw him in the mud, just like in the classic stories. I guess they stick with the classics sometimes. And
can't beat the classics.
Yeah. The first few times it was a little bit funny, but it gets old real fast. And basically through the entire week, we were being completely harassed by this very, very annoying puca, and it never ran out of ideas. It would turn into a goat and eat documents that weren't properly secured.
Yeah.
A black mouse would run up and poop in people's food. It would imitate all kinds of creatures and just scare people, like jump scare them in the dark, or it would turn into a dog and howl in front of the tents and then suddenly vanish when someone goes looking.
Yeah.
I remember one time, one night, one of the guys he'd been on a dating app, and there was someone in the next village over, and it turns out he had been catfished by Púca, and that one was admittedly quite funny.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but as I said, the entire week was just incredibly annoying, and I was so glad when it was time to leave. And we picked up our tents and made our way to the next village, where we had organized like a shuttle bus that would carry the group to the airport. And one of our contacts there, who had also helped organize the whole thing, so we would have food and supplies and stuff. He told me that allegedly someone had seen a kelpie in the area, basically as we were about to leave.
Immediately quite dangerous, yeah.
Yes, indeed. It wasn't quite confirmed, but a kelpie is dangerous enough that we're gonna at least take a look. And we know this person, and we know they're not gonna just say something like this lightly to mess with us. So I told Hanzo to take the bus with the younglings and I'm gonna check it out and confirm or not and see what has to be done. Just organize a car for me so I can get to the airport on my own later.
Of course, yeah.
I went to check it out, and turns out it was a horse. It was just a horse.
Okay, yeah.
That got away from some farm, and it was all a big waste of time, but honestly, I prefer that to the alternative.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've told you guys, Kelpies, quite dangerous creatures.
Yes, they are, and I was not excited to deal with them, and luckily I didn't have to.
Yeah.
And I get back, and indeed there's a car waiting for me, and everything goes fine, and I drive towards the airport, and then a bit away from the airport, still in the middle of nowhere more or less, the car suddenly breaks down, and I'm not a car guy. I get out and open the hood because that's what you do, but that doesn't really help me very much.
Yeah, okay.
I was pretty sure I saw some kind of hose with more holes than it should have. But what do I know? And with suspicious timing, a black horse appeared behind me.
Yes.
And offered to give me a ride to the airport. And I looked at the horse, which of course was not a horse, and I said, I really need to get this plane. I can't afford to be messed with. Promise me to take me to the airport. And was like, of course.
So,
what else would I do?
So we can pretty much guarantee at this point you missed the plane.
I didn't actually.
Okay.
But it was the ride of my life. I thought I didn't have anything to lose. I am quite sure that it's not going to kill me. At worst, it's going to hurt my pride. So I thought, if I have any chance to avoid dealing with the guys in finance because I need another plane ticket, I'll take the risk.
Yeah, that they are certainly the scariest part of the CCI.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, carry on.
Don't want to mess with them. Yeah. So I got on the Púca's back, and immediately I was shocked because it was so fast. It's so much faster than any normal horse you would ever ride on. And half the time I didn't really even realize where we were going, and somehow it managed to ride me through several falling bits of bird poop and the swarm of bees. I don't know how it did that or how it knew about these things even, but it somehow did.
I love these creatures already.
But it actually took me to the airport, where it proceeded to throw me like through the door, basically. And people were already very angry about, from their perspective, someone just racing a horse through the middle of a crowd. And then I lay there on the floor, eyes on me, and then I look back at the horse and I just see it say, "This man has a bomb." And that's something you don't even want to joke about at an airport, and immediately security was on me. And I was just covered in bird poop and bee stings, and I was so lucky because one of the senior security people was actually someone who knew us and knew these creatures, and he made sure that I didn't get into more trouble than was necessary, and actually helped me to catch the plane, which was very, very last minute. But it was a day.
It certainly sounds like it. Well, I mean, these creatures are just trolls, but not literal trolls, because trolls are something very, very different. But the colloquial troll. But honestly, I find that's amazing, and I love the fact that they can shapeshift. I love the fact that they just have their own minds, and I'm now really concerned as to why I haven't been sent to meet them.
Well, maybe someone wants to protect your innocence. You know,
I doubt that.
You say you like them, you probably won't say that after you spend a week with them.
I don't think any of the higher-ups are trying to protect me from anything after sending me after things like the Leviathan.
That's fair enough, I guess.
If anything, I would partially believe that they're trying to get rid of me, but oh well.
Who knows? if they were to send you anywhere on the internet, where would you like to be sent in that case?
Well, I mean, there are so many different places to go to. I mean, there's Domino's, there's Pizza Hut, there's
not sponsored.
a million other
we're
takeaway
open.
sites that I would really, really quite like to just live in if I could get the food. But you know what? There's one place that's absolutely incredible and amazing that I would want above all else.
Really?
And that is the Blinking You'll Miff It Discord.
Woo! Incredible. Tell me more.
So on the Discord, you can chat with other people who listen. You can suggest creatures for us to maybe have a talk about, because between me and Chris, we have spoken about quite a lot of creatures, and we have pretty much met or found or are in the process of finding all of the various myths and legends that you've only ever heard of and never seen, mostly because we do a very, very good job at the CCI. And it's just a really, really cool place to hang out. There's cookies.
I can neither confirm nor deny the existence of any cookies.
I never specified what type of cookies. Oh, they may be edible. They may be online. But either way, it's a great place to... It's just a great place to hang out, and we'd love to see you guys there and kind of getting involved and having a chat with like-minded people. And if you enjoyed our episode today, well, good news. We have many, many more episodes. We have a pretty decent back catalogue now.
Indeed.
Of various episodes of various creatures that we've talked about and we lift the lid on. And the good thing is they are all evergreen. You don't need to listen to any episode in any particular order, although there are a few little in-jokes backwards and forwards between them.
Absolutely true, and especially you don't have to listen to the very first episodes, because let's be honest, we're still trying to figure out what we're doing, and we certainly didn't back then, but...
Although I do enjoy some of the first episodes that we did.
Oh, yeah. It's a charming kind of incompetence.
As opposed to the incompetence you hear now.
Exactly. Now we're just jerks.
Now it's grating on the nerves.
I don't know where this is going. I'm just becoming increasingly unhinged. Anyway, what I would like you to do while we're talking about it is give us a subscription if you want to, so you don't miss out on future episodes. Maybe give us a rating, because the algorithm likes stars and devours them until the universe is blank and empty. And
don't forget to share us as well. Don't forget to share us to some of your friends.
Exactly.
If you think they would like to learn about the creatures that they don't know really exist.
Exactly. And even if you think they don't want to, then share us anyway, because sharing is good.
Yeah, sharing is caring, as they say, even if it's forceful.
Yes. That is a good point to stop on, I think. So
before we get in trouble.
Yes. So if there's nothing else to add, I think it's time that we say goodbye and see you in the next one.
Goodbye.
You just lost the game.